Hi, this is Phil Newcomb. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
This is Mark the Banks. I'm on deck with Tyler Redmond.
Welcome in On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with everything going on in Braves country. A very big weekend for the Braves, as you already know. Game 1, Game 2 recap. If you didn't see it, we talked about Freeman's first career Grand Slam, and of course, Acuna's return. But today we're talking about Game 3 and Game 4. We're going to start it out with Game 3, Max Fried versus Freddie of the Nationals. Max Fried actually had a rough inning, which is very atypical. He gave up 2 runs and only 1 hit. He struggled to locate, but he did settle in going into the second and the rest of his appearance. He did not give up another run. In 5 innings of work, he gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and 3 walks, but he did get 4 strikeouts. So not his best appearance, but still a quality start. And he gave the Braves a chance to win, which is important. You can't ask for a whole lot more. You got a great offense. Hopefully the Braves can put up some numbers to get you the win. Ronald Acuna would not let the Nationals rest very long. He homered to left center to lead off the game for the Braves. That's right, he did it the day before, and he did it in Game 3. They were up 2-0, now they're only up 2-1. He now has the record with 18 for the Braves franchise in leadoff homers. He beat Felipe Alou, who set the record in 633 leadoff at-bats. Acuna did it in only 210. He's also only 22 years old. Again, I'll say, Ricky Henderson, he holds the record for all-time leadoff homers with 81. Acuna is only 63 away, so we'll see what happens there over the next decade or so. I'm not betting against him, but it would be the 3rd inning before the Braves scored again in a big way. Travis d'Arnaud with a 2-run shot that scored he and Ozuna. That gave the Braves the lead, 3-2. Duvall would also homer in the 4th, 4-2 Braves. And the 5th is where some trouble arose. It seemed to be the turning point of the game. Howie Kendrick hit a ground ball to Johan Camargo at second. It should have been a double play, but on a wide throw at second, it became an earned run on Fried, and the inning continued. That is the first error on a Braves middle infielder all year. What a bad time to do it, too. You know, you got a Cy Young candidate on the mound, and he just added another run to his ERA. So a terrible time to do it. Luckily, that was all Fried would give up in the 5th, and his ERA is now at 1.98 as he continues in his Cy Young candidacy. So 4-3 going into the 6th, Matzik would be unable to hold the lead for Fried. He gave up 2. Nats up 5-4. Dayton was scoreless through 2, but Chat Sabatka would come in and he would give up 5 runs to the Nationals, and the Braves could not come back from that. They go down 10-4 in Game 3. So the Braves would look to split the series in Game 4. To do that, it would be Josh Tomlin who started on the mound for Atlanta, and Josh Tomlin's biggest problem is his ability to last long in games, save the bullpen. As you know, he hasn't been able to put up a quality start. Yesterday, though, he had 6 innings pitched, 3 hits given up, and only 1 run given up. He had no walks, and he got 2 strikeouts. That's the kind of Josh Tomlin we need if he's going to be a starting pitcher. So that is his first quality start since 2017. Obviously, he's been in the bullpen since then, but it made him a huge focus on the weekend for the Braves. Can this be a consistent thing for Josh Tomlin? Can we count on him to be a starting pitcher going forward? A lot of questions being asked by the Braves, but a lot more questions in starting pitching being asked by the Braves. More on that later, so stay tuned. The only trouble Tomlin got into was in the 2nd inning. Holt would have a 1-out single, and then that would be followed up by a big single by Eric Thames, scoring Holt 1-0 Nationals. And then in the 4th, the Braves would put up some runs on the board, courtesy of Tyler Flowers. It was a ground rule double that scored 2-1 Braves, but the Braves were far from done. Ozuna continues his impressive performance as of late with a homer to left in the bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Braves. And then, this is just absolutely insane, Freddie Freeman has waited 10 years to get his first Grand Slam, and then he waited approximately 2 days to get his second one. Yes, he had 2 Grand Slams within 3 days, and they were his first and second of his career, and he's been playing for 10 years now. What a crazy sentence I just said. But that's what happened this weekend. That would make the score 7-1 Braves, and in the 7th, Ozuna would also have a base-clearing double to make it 10-1 Braves. And in the top of the 9th, Snitker would make the interesting decision of bringing in Bryce Wilson. We've seen him try some new things over the past few days with the pitching staff, trying to save the bullpen, and I think trying to just test out some things going into the latter half of the season. He would bring in Bryce Wilson, who would not have his best stuff. He would give up 2 runs in the 9th, but he would strike out Eric Thames on 3 swings and then pop out Carter Kieboom to end the game. So, biggest headlines over the weekend. Freeman has 2 Grand Slams now in his career, his first 2 ever, and they happened within the span of 3 days. Again, that's just insane. Acuna has now holding the leadoff home run record for the Braves with 18. He beat Felipe Alou, and he is now only 63 leadoff homers away from Rickey Henderson's all-time record. The Braves lost on Saturday with Freed on the mound. That is the first time the Braves have lost with Freed on the mound at all this season. He did not take a loss, but the Braves did not win the game with him on the mound. I thought that was very interesting. He is still 6-0, but the Braves did not pick up the win there. Now, you heard me mention Bryce Wilson a minute ago. He was called up after Sabatka's poor performance in Game 3. Sabatka was sent down after his 5-run appearance on Saturday, which was very just a rough appearance for Sabatka. I don't know what the Braves are going to do in that situation. First off, let's take a look at the standings. The Braves are 24-16. They're playing .600 baseball right now. They're atop the Phillies, who have just one more in the loss column. The Marlins follow the Phils, and the Braves take on the Marlins today, actually, 1:10 p.m. Hopefully they'll be able to get some extra W's there, and the Mets and the Nationals obviously follow. Now, we do also have a very positive injury update. This is more on the starting pitching scenario. Did you guys see what Fox Sports put together for us? Did you guys get to watch it? Because I watched every minute of it. It was a live at-bat, live batting practice with Cole Hamels and Ozzie Albies facing off against each other, and they both looked very comfortable. Ozzie Albies was fighting off pitches. He got a couple pop-ups, no hit of significance, but they both looked very comfortable. He looked comfortable in the batter's box, and Cole Hamels, more importantly, looked very comfortable on the mound. Obviously, we're in dire need of starting pitching right now. It's looking like both of these guys are going to be ready by September 15th, which is the deadline for postseason roster eligibility. So they need to be on that roster to go into the postseason. Obviously, they're more than likely going to be. But that deadline does raise some questions. Do the Braves make some active roster moves? I think so. Keep an eye on it, because it looks like I really think some of these guys are going to make an appearance before that time. Hear me out. Tucker Davidson, Kyle Muller, Kyle Wright, Mike Foltynewicz, or Sean Newcomb. Those 6 guys, I think a combination or one of these guys at least is going to make an appearance before September 15th so the Braves can gauge their performance. I know you're scratching your head, but hear me out. Bryce Wilson is that 26th man who just got called up, right? He is not a reliable reliever. He's not a reliable starting pitcher right now. Hopefully he'll be able to develop and change that, but we saw last night in the 9th inning, he gave up 2 runs. I just don't think he's a viable option to go into a postseason. I don't think he's a reliable option to go into the postseason. I don't know if you guys realize this. The Braves do not need help in the bullpen. And if that's what Bryce Wilson is, they don't need help there. Excuse the last few days, but the Braves bullpen is the only thing that's kept the Braves pitching staff together. I don't think it needs any more help. With that said, here's your rotation at the moment. Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Robbie Erlin, Josh Tomlin, and Tommy Malone. Now, what's more valuable in this scenario? A mediocre relief pitcher or any decent starting pitcher at the moment? I think over the next week or so, we're going to see at least one of those guys, Tucker Davidson, Kyle Muller, Kyle Wright, Mike Foltynewicz, or Sean Newcomb, make an appearance. These guys are all competing for that spot. I'm not saying that I think one of these guys is going to come out and have Ian Anderson type appearances, but I do think that one of these guys could come out and give the Braves a better chance to win ball games, or at least come out in long relief in a postseason crunch time situation, especially if we need to save the bullpen and keep the runs down of the opposing team. If I'm having to pick out of this selection who I thought was most likely to make an appearance, we haven't seen too much of Tucker. I don't want to comment on his situation, but we have seen Kyle Muller versus Ian Anderson a few weeks ago, if you remember. Kyle looked good as Anderson did that day. If you remember, Muller has 326 innings pitched in the minors, and he's been developing at the minor, the alternative training site all year long. If the Braves use a minor leaguer, I give the edge to Kyle Muller or Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright gets the slight edge in that situation just due to major league experience. But could the Braves use one of those new weapons this postseason? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. But that's not all the options the Braves have. And I'm going to say this until the Braves don't consider this to be an option, but right now it is. I think that the Braves could go to former All-Star Mike Foltynewicz or Sean Newcomb. Yes, I think so. One of the most important things when considering a guy to go into the postseason is postseason experience. And one of the only guys on the Braves roster in the pitching staff that has postseason experience as a starter is Mike Foltynewicz. The good and the bad, he's got it. And that is a very valuable tool when going into the postseason, especially when you're down starting pitching. Yes, he had a disastrous start on the year, but he's drastically improved. His weight was down, his velocity was down. His weight is now up, and his velocity is now up. He's pitching around 94 miles per hour. I've said it a few times over the past couple of weeks. But players have gone down with injuries and been successful. Players have come back from so much and been an influential part of a team. I think that could be Mike Foltynewicz. I think that could be Sean Newcomb. They are not out of the conversation yet. I think they're very much in the conversation, especially with the drastic improvements that Mike Foltynewicz has made. Obviously, the situation surrounding Newcomb is rather quiet, but I think they're not out of the conversation. We have to consider them an option. That's just where I lean. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments section. Stay tuned with everything going on with the Braves right here at On Deck. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay updated. And, of course, you can follow me on social media, too. Tyler Redmond at BubblegumJesus on Twitter and Instagram. But that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more right here at On Deck.